Good morning. Today is Tuesday, July 26th, 2022. For Ashkenazim, the dramatic opening of Yom Kippur is Kol Nidre. Yom Kippur is the holiest day of the year, and we begin with this dramatic ceremony, solemn, Kol Nidre. It's curious that this opening to Yom Kippur for Ashkenazim, it doesn't have anything to do with forgiveness, with atonement. In fact, it's not even a prayer. It is rather a statement, a legal statement. So how is this the appropriate opening for this awesome day? Now, in fact, Kol Nidre is premised on a short, rather obscure passage in the Torah, in this week's Torah portion, the beginning of the Parsha of Mattot, regarding the annulment of vows. That's the subject at the beginning of the Parsha of Mattot. The Torah tells us we have to keep our word. If we make a promise, it is a serious sin to break that promise. Now, if the promise that we make is to another person, to give or to repay a loan or to do a favor, there's no way out. Our promise commits us and we must fulfill it. And if we do not fulfill it, we have committed a very serious sin of not keeping our word. But if the promise I make is to myself, for example, if I make a promise to myself I'm going to lose weight, or I'm going to exercise, or I'm going to attend synagogue more regularly, then, under certain circumstances, a person can come before a bet din, a Jewish court, and they can plead that although I made this promise with the most noble of intentions, but the circumstances have changed and I'm not able to live up to it. I suffered an injury and I'm not able to exercise. Or waking up early has a negative effect on being able to help get my kids ready for school, for example. Now, if the judges of the bet din feel that this pleading is valid, then they may, at their discretion, annul the vow. Of course, that doesn't mean that I can't do it. It just means that I'm not bound by the force of the oath or the promise to do that action. Why is that an important thing? And how is this connected to Yom Kippur, that this statement about annulling vows, Kol Nidre, annulling vows, should be the beginning of Yom Kippur? Rabbi Tzvi Hersh Weinreb suggests the following. He differentiates between two words based on the writing by Stephen Covey: honesty and integrity. Honesty is conforming our words to reality. Integrity is confirming reality to our words. And Rav Weinreb says, our goal as Jews is to lead not only lives of honesty, where our words conform to reality, but also to lead lives of integrity, where our actions fulfill the words we have spoken. And when we commit ourselves to another, that commitment is absolute, and ignoring that commitment is a terrible sin. But sometimes, at least in the promises we make ourselves, to ourselves, sometimes we overextend ourselves. In moments of crisis, or in moments of inspiration, we may promise commitments to ourselves that we cannot realistically fulfill. And it is here, in this situation, that extremely detailed Torah law, based on this short passage at the beginning of our Torah portion, provides a path for annulment of these types of vows. The Bet Din, a Jewish court, has the capacity to recognize that for any one of us, situations change. Priorities shift. And sometimes our human shortcomings cause us to misassess what we can really accomplish. Now, I want to be clear. The annulment of vows does not allow us to weasel out of our moral and legal obligations. It has no relevance in those areas. But it does allow us, under certain limited circumstances, to remove the obligation of the promise so that we can retain our integrity, so that we will not have allowed our words to go unfulfilled. Kol Nidre, which is about annulling vows, is not about Yom Kippur. And it is not even a prayer. It is a statement that each of us makes in the presence of the community at the beginning of Yom Kippur, that any promises or oaths we will make during the coming year, which are subject to being annulled in accordance with Jewish law, any such statements that we make should be considered only wishes only, aspiration only, without the obligatory nature of a promise or an oath. And by doing so, we seek to live lives of both honesty and integrity. Yom Kippur is the holiest day of the year. The day we encounter God with an intimacy like no other day. A day of introspection. A day of forgiveness and atonement. Before Yom Kippur begins, we're given the opportunity to make an opening statement to God, an introductory statement to God. What do we want to say to God just before Yom Kippur begins? What is it that it is imperative that God knows about us before we begin this holy, intimate encounter of Yom Kippur? What we say to God by saying Kol Nidre is, God, please recognize we strive mightily to live lives of honesty and even lives of integrity. We try. Our deepest desire is that we speak the truth and that we fulfill the words that we say. But God, we are human, and sometimes we need help. So we say to God, annul for us Kol Nidre, all of the vows, all of the promises that can legitimately be annulled, because we desperately want to lead lives of integrity. And we say to God, forgive us for the words we did not fulfill this year, because we're human, because we're trying. This is our opening statement to God as Yom Kippur begins. God, as we begin to ask forgiveness and atonement, please recognize, God, we're trying. We will try harder, but we are trying, and we ask for your help. My friends, I want to wish you a great day, and I look forward to seeing you soon in person.